if you're looking to build the relationship, the rapport side, when I started my real estate business, I was in 8 networking groups a week. I was constantly talking to people and then asking them, who are 2 people that I need to know from your sphere that you can refer me to, that I can at least have a conversation, and then build that way.
Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast, the #1 podcast in Colorado Springs.
Today, our sponsor is Neon Pig Creative, a local branding company here in the Springs. They're awesome. We had Laura Schnarr. I don't remember what episode she was on, but she was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Guest
episode 222, something like that.
If you got that right, that's pretty great.
I want to double check. I'll edit that, and if it's right, then I'll edit it. If it's wrong, I'll edit it out. Yeah, so we have an amazing guest today, someone who's been on, and it hasn't been on in a long time, and we're kind of having a theme going on. We're bringing back some old people. We had Rob Decker on just a couple weeks ago. Are you familiar with Rob?
Yeah, I've known Rob in passing. He's a good dude.
Okay, nice. Yeah, but we have Ryan Van Ornum today with Wolfpack Property Group. How's everything been, man?
Man, I'm glad to be back. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Oh, man.
How long has it been, Ryan? It's been like over 3 years, right?
I think it was before COVID, wasn't it?
I think it was during COVID. It was.
I think it was
because
during,
I had got the place in August. Got the actual location
Of
in
2019
August
though, right?
2020. No, 2020.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's like August 2020, and there's actually a funny anecdote. I like to bring it up on this. I think you already know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had a detective knock on our door while we were filming his episode.
Yes. There's a bomb scare in the building.
Yeah.
And we ended up staying there for another 3 years, so we know all about
and then
that
the building caught on fire while we were there last year.
Yeah, last year. Underneath it. Did you hear about that in downtown Colorado Springs? There was like a big fire underground, and it took out like that whole block. And,
Wow.
I mean, we had
It
all of
shot
our
the
computers
manholes
there.
up 13 feet, and there was flames. Yeah.
Yes, that's when you know you need renter's insurance when you're
Right.
even
Yes.
running a business.
I was
out there.
panicking a little bit because I was like, all my equipment's in there. Like, what are we gonna do?
Man, that
Yeah.
hits you right in the heart.
Yeah, it's definitely a
gosh.
little reality check. I mean,
Yeah.
but it was cool. I was on the news. Like I was standing outside, and I was like, the flames were go up 13 feet.
You're that guy?
And I didn't even see him either.
Yeah, secondhand
Yeah.
experiences right there.
Yeah. There's a clip from Monsters Inc. where the guys, the monsters yelling. And he was like, I was that guy.
Love it.
How's everything been, man? Because again, it's been 3 or 4 years now
Yeah.
since we caught up with you, and I know there's another business that's been already launched. We'll get a little bit into that, but tell us a little bit. You know, it was 8 years in business now for
Yeah.
Wolfpack. It's insane. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, 8 years in business now. Like it's kind of crazy that it's been so long already. But yeah, we do commercial, residential, all the way up. We have 10 agents on the team now, from Southern Colorado Springs all the way up to Thornton now. Transaction coordinator, director of operations. We have inside sales agents making calls. We have virtual assistants helping things. We have database managers. Man, we have all kinds of stuff helping close more deals for our team and helping more people find the right property, what they're looking for. So it's been a journey. And there's always, as when you're in business ownership, there's ups and downs, there's pitfalls along the way, but I love every second of it, man. Like being able to help our team succeed. We've had people in other countries buy properties with us. It's pretty amazing, that are on our team, because we have people that work virtually for us that have actually purchased properties in the Philippines. It's pretty cool to see that kind of stuff happen. Of course, our team here, people are buying investment properties for themselves. So like, I couldn't be happier where we're going.
That's awesome. And we were just talking over text yesterday about like the whole movement of like virtual assistants and how that's grown so much, especially with like a lot of workforce overseas, especially in the Philippines. You mentioned the Philippines. How has the landscape of your industry specifically changed, and then incorporating, of course, VAs into your own business?
I think it's changed a lot, especially in the last like three years or so, especially since COVID, man. It's the landscape is where being able just to expand your brand, reach more people at a high level that they know that you'll be able to take care of them at a high level, and consistently putting your brand out there in multiple different facets. I kind of use a crazy analogy, but like if you only call them, you become like the person that gets sent to voicemail. If you only text, you get ghosted. If you only are on email, it goes straight to spam. And if you're only on social media, you get blocked. But if you do all of those things, you become a content expert. So it's pretty cool to see that kind of stuff, because you're building a brand on so many different platforms and ways to be able to reach out to your clients at a high level that it changes the way that they look at you. And that's powerful to me.
Yeah, man.
That's helped you grow a lot.
Absolutely, 100%. So we do, we've been a top 10% producing team, for 7 years straight now. So, top 10% in all of Colorado, and expanding into other states down the road. So I got some people in California and people in Arizona and people in several other states that are looking to partner with us down the road. So I couldn't be more pleased about where the trajectory is going.
We'd like to take a quick moment and thank our sponsors.
Celebrity DJ. Celebrity DJ, where you get your events your way. Weddings, corporate events, and more. Let Celebrity DJ be your director of fun. Winner of WeddingWire.com's Couple Choice Award year after year with over 100 5-star reviews. Let Celebrity DJ bring your vision for your special event to life. Online at celebrity-dj.com.
That's celebrity-dj.com.
Home Day.
Enhance your company's benefit package with Home Day. Home Day offers innovative real estate solutions that make home ownership simpler and more accessible for your employees. Discover how Home Day can add value to your benefits program at gethomeday.com.
Neon Pig Creative. Bring brands to life with Neon Pig Creative. Dazzling designs and strategic marketing make businesses stand out. Spark creativity at neonpigcreative.com. That's neonpigcreative.com.
Exponential Impact. Fuel startup success with Exponential Impact. Mentorship, resources, and support available to amplify impact. Join a community of change makers at exponentialimpact.com.
That's exponentialimpact.com.
Fast Signs.
Fast Signs can help you with all your signage and visual marketing needs. Whether you're starting a new business or just need a signage refresh, let Fast Signs help you. Make your statement. That's fastsigns.com. Cars Helping Charities.
Cars Helping Charities is a turnkey fundraising solution for nonprofits. Cars Helping Charities allows your nonprofit to accept vehicle donations, which are sold, and then the funds go to the organization. CHC is partnering with my nonprofit of choice, Mattersville, to help them raise funds through vehicle donations. Please consider donating your car to support Mattersville. CHC will pick up any car, an old clunker you have sitting in your driveway, or a car you just don't feel like selling anymore. Make sure to visit carshelpingcharities.org. That's carshelpingcharities.org. Dream Accounting Solutions. Dream Accounting Solutions provides expert outsource accounting and CFO services to include bookkeeping, payroll, and financial consulting to help you take control of your business finances.
Whether you're a small business or an entrepreneur, their tailored services keep your finances in check. Visit dreamaccountingsolutions.com to schedule your consultation and simplify your financial future. Now let's get back to the show.
I've been throwing this in it the past few months. It's called the Google 7-11-4 rule. Have you ever heard of that before?
I haven't.
So what it
Tell
means?
me about it.
So it's now on app. So for first and foremost, buyer and customer trust is at a 40-year low because all we're getting bombarded with on social media is ads here, ads there, especially during election season, right? Even worse. So what Google has found out is, again, 40-year low for trust with the buyers, right? So they realize that on average now, a customer has to listen to about 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points across 4 different channels.
Instead of just the traditional 5 touch points. Which is what it used to be.
Right. And again, 4 different channels. So like now, again, building out, like you said, a comprehensive like solution of like, now you got to be on LinkedIn. Now you got to be on Facebook, Instagram. Now you got to be on TikTok or whatever other channels that you want to actually champion. They all come into play now because someone has to really, they buy into you and trust you, know you personally,
Mhm.
then they buy from you now. So
Absolutely.
So again, with like what you're doing with the VAs and like, again, having all these different touch points from all these different angles, again, that's kind of feeding into that 7-11-4 rule.
Absolutely. And it's really powerful to see, most people get it in their heads as entrepreneurs that you don't want to bug people.
Mhm.
However, if you have value, you're not bugging people. And that's the powerful thing that I see,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure you see it in your businesses as well.
Oh man, you kidding me?
And-
Yeah.
And you bug the people that don't see the value though.
And
But-
we weren't made to do business with them then.
Exactly.
And that's
yeah.
okay. I don't want to do business with everybody.
Me
I want
too.
to do business with the people that value us.
Mhm.
It's so true. And like, again, I feel like it's more so like you have to follow up with everybody nowadays because everybody's so busy. Everybody's being solicited.
Mhm.
Like the power really is in the follow up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm all about like, hey, I'm following up with you. If you want nothing to do with this, that's completely fine. I don't want anything to fracture our
Mhm.
relationship. I am following up because I believe this is something that you might need.
Mhm.
I
Right.
believe in that,
Right. Absolutely. And the mindset of in real estate is that a lot of times people think that there's so many realtors that it's flooded the market. But really that's if you are not articulating your value, you're not putting yourself out there
Yeah.
enough to be able to set yourself apart. That's the difference.
Right.
So understanding how you do it and where you reach people, that's key to me. I love doing more of like the commercial side of stuff, the business brokerage side. That stuff really interests me. Our team does the residential piece of it. And it's a good fit for everybody that way. And people want to learn on our team about commercial. So I love being able to teach people on that kind of stuff as well.
And you're so much more than that, even all those things, because when I think about you and when we first met 5 or 6 years ago, we're actually trying to plan a trunk or treat event at the back then, I think it was actually SkySock Stadium. And then I ended up having some other obligations. You ended up still doing it and you have done it. I knew you ended up doing it for many years after that.
Yeah.
And again, giving back to the community, especially in that East Side Powers Corridor group of folks who have something really cool for bring their kids. It's safe, more community driven. You've always been like that. So what, like, again, are you still doing that? And two, like, what other things have you done the past several years to kind of breed that kind of community?
Our trunk or treat has actually happened this weekend, October 26th. I don't know when the podcast
Next
comes
week,
out.
unfortunately.
Okay. No worries. But we just we'll hit this in edit.
Yeah.
or next year.
Yes. Next year it's always like the week before Halloween.
Mhm.
So this year it's October 26th, but next year it'll be right around that same time frame. And we've grown this thing from about 300 people our first year. I think it was 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. That every year for the last 3 or 4 years, we have 4,000 to 7,000 people show up to a trunk or treat.
Wow.
So you guys know the size of the SkySock Stadium, right?
Mhm.
We have the entire VIP area full of vendors. And we go through about 15 to 20 bags of candy per vendor.
Okay. And so the kids get hooked up too then.
Yeah, we're nothing but diabetes and sugar highs.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the entire parking lot, even the bottom parking lot where they do the test drive, where they do the driver's test type of stuff, is full of cars. And then where the switchbacks used to play, they have to open up that parking lot because there's so many people want to be at this event.
Awesome, man.
So
That's cool.
like right now, usually we have between 800 families. So about 4,000 to 6,000 people show up. And right now, I think we have 300 families already pre-registered, and we'll have 600 to 800 families show up.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Does that help with business?
Well, it's the
Or is it
way
like
that
a subsidiary thing.
it's a subsidiary thing, but the way that we set it up is we have one choke point where they all have to enter, and then we give them a QR code. They scan the QR code. We get name, phone number, email address.
Yeah. Nice.
So really, the big thing in any type of business is data is the new oil or gold or whatever you want to call it.
100%.
So if you have that, that's how you grow your business.
Yeah.
So we actually have so many people who come to this event, our vendors, they actually pay to be a part of our event
For sure. Yeah.
because it's such such a value add for them for
Mhm.
where can you get 800 leads in 3 hours for $100?
Dude,
Mhm.
nowhere.
I think you were breaking down that math last year at the Wing Fest when we were sitting down talking
Right.
to you. Yeah.
Like 12 to 20 cents per lead. How do
For
you,
$100?
yeah,
That's a great deal. That's awesome.
that's what I want to do for our community members and our vendors is like put on a great event,
Mhm.
create more business for everybody, because it's up to them to decide how they want to take care of their leads that they get from it.
Mhm.
For us, our team calls them back immediately, like the next day, and then following up, because that's what we're about. We want to take care of our people, and the fresh leads get served.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. And it's the best. It is gold, like you said, because like you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have all these social media channels, which is great having followers on there. But whatever happens if, something happens with Meta and you don't have those followers anymore if they decide to shut something down. Not to say it's ever going to happen, but we also see what's going on with TikTok, right? But emails, names, phone numbers, those are forever. Those are your ownership.
Yeah. We actually own Colorado Springs events and activities and Denver events and activities too
Yeah.
in Facebook groups. So we have 60,000 members in those groups as well that we've nurtured along the way for the last 5 years.
For some reason, I thought you passed that on to someone else.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Not selling
Nice.
that one.
Yeah,
That's
a good
been.
one.
Do you think that has been pivotal for your growth? Because coming out here, did you know anyone when you moved out here?
No. I've been here, 8.5 years. I worked for the Air Force Academy for about 6 months and I got tired of bureaucracy at it. I got tired of, I ran the youth center. I had 200 kids, 20 staff members, a budget of like $2 million. And I never saw my kids. So now, between me and my better half, we have 7 kids together. So from ages 24 to down to 10 years old, I get to take them to school every day. I get to be at every one of their games. We get to watch Jocelyn, who plays at LSU for soccer. We get to see Kylan graduate next year from Syracuse. It's pretty cool to be able to do those things now and just really be a part of their lives as opposed to just working for somebody and not ever getting out of that cycle.
Yeah, that's awesome, first and foremost. But there's also like a very intense period when you start your business, and you're in year 8 now, so you're kind of already past that. But like they say entrepreneurs are the only folks who are willing to work 80 hours so they never work 40 hours again. So in other words, like there must have been a period when you first started where you're actually working maybe even more than when you had a job. And so how have you moved past that? You kind of talked briefly about it. You've got some people in place there, but talk a little bit more about that. Cause I think a lot of entrepreneurs who listen to this podcast, they're in that space and they're like, I almost feel more trapped owning my own business, working in my business. I don't know how to get out of that. So talk a little bit about that.
I believe it's about 2 things. First, it's whenever you're starting a new business, you have to launch it. And there's a reason why they call it a business launch, because it's not a business like sputter and take off.
Yeah.
Like you got to get out there and hustle for it. So, whether like I've been building a separate business, we'll talk about it down the road here, but like, it's 60 conversations a day.
Oh yeah.
And
that's tiring actually.
Yeah. I mean, I send out probably 50 to 60 text messages per day right now, just having conversations with people, and then being able to set appointments off of those. But if you're looking to build the relationship, the rapport side, when I started my real estate business, I was in 8 networking groups a week. So I was constantly talking to people and then asking them, who are 2 people that I need to know from your sphere that you can refer me to, that I can at least have a conversation, and then build that way. Once you get off the ground, like you're launching an airplane,
A rocket.
Yeah, a rocket. When you take off in an airplane, you have to climb to a cruising altitude, 29,000 feet, whatever it is, 35,000 feet. You get to that level, you can kind of back off a little bit, but you still have to have other people engaged to make sure that it continues to cruise at that level. And that's where the next step comes in for me. And, other people that actually don't want to work in their business, that they want to work on their business, that you have to leverage and give people responsibilities and not micromanage them. Let them take ownership of your business with you. And
Yeah.
that's what we've seen. where you get growth from.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And I love the saying, it's not how, but who.
Mhm.
And I've taken that to the bank in a lot of different ways. Cause like I was always the guy, especially when I first started, I was like, I have to figure this problem out. I have to know this. And then eventually it just got to be too much on my plate. I'm like, okay, I can't learn all this, all that. I just got to find who would know that and get them in the place where they can win and they can really soar and make ownership of whatever I'm trying to do in order to build a team up. Cause that's exactly what you're talking about. It sounds like you're really good with people too, that you're able to attract the right people, not only like into your business as customers, but also for a team as well.
You want to become the magnet, whether it's on the sales side or the leadership side. You want to have people that you empower.
Mhm.
So that's actually on my snap bracelet that I have, is empowering. You want to
Mhm.
take care of those people, that they grow with you, and make sure. And this is one thing that I've kind of learned along the way. If your vision is not as big as others, they'll find others, or they'll create their own vision larger than yours.
Mhm.
So continue to build what you see. Otherwise, those people will find their own vision to cast with you or without you in it.
That makes sense.
So, but we want to take care of as many people as we can, and see them grow with us as to highest levels possible.
How do you attribute your experience in the military to when you went into the business world? Because we've had a lot of folks on here, they're veterans.
Mhm. Colorado Springs figures.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, 17, 18% of our population is veterans
Yeah.
or active military.
And Google that.
Yeah, I think I got
And
that
then
right.
drop it in the comments if he's wrong or not.
Well, Yemi told me that. So, but yeah, so how do you attribute, the things that you might have learned from there, or even Keller Williams, because Keller Williams is notorious for like great training and things of that
Mhm.
nature as well, to your overall success.
Yeah. So with the military piece of it, it's about like a brotherhood, uh, you know, and a sisterhood, like that camaraderie piece, being able to work for something greater than you. And that's what we've kind of built on that piece. When I was at Keller Williams, I was there for my first 7 years in business, and they have a great culture in that same way of being able, God family business. And, I've moved over to EXP, and it's a very similar type of business, more on like a virtual platform, a cloud brokerage that allows me to do several other different things
Right.
at a different level. And I love both platforms. It's just, that's where I feel like the growth needed to happen for us.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've heard a lot about EXP in more recent years, and they're all great, right? Like
Yeah.
they all have like a lot of great technology that they injected into the real estate industry. And we were talking yesterday about, how certain things in the real estate industry have they're still a little bit more old school, which just makes sense because it's kind of a people-based business. Talk a little bit about that too, because I think that's pretty interesting, because there is some old school ways still about it, right?
Oh yeah. It starts with rapport. Like if you don't have rapport with people, like they're not going to want and trust in you to make the biggest decision of their life, to own a home. And that's a very important piece. I do feel like real estate is being kind of coerced into more of a technological based career genre in the last 5 years. And I do feel like there is going to continue in those ways.
One of our
Uh,
sponsors is involved in tech and
Mortgage brokerage.
kind of involved in what you're talking about.
Yeah. I
Home
think
day.
the Zillow effect, the homes.com effect, some of the AI behind the scenes is kind of perpetuating that. But I don't ever think that you're going to get away, that you're going to have some sort of relationship with somebody to be able to purchase a home. I think that there's going to be a point where it's going to be there's always an option to do it yourself, but to do that, say for like $1 million home in 5 years or something like that,
Mhm.
I don't know if I would really feel comfortable doing that.
Unless you got extra time on your hands, and a lot of people at higher levels don't have the extra time to to deal with that.
Well, I mean, as a realtor, you have a fiduciary duty to take care of your clients. Their needs come before anything. So that's number one. And we're in this day in and day out every single day. Most people buy a house a couple times in their lifetime. Of course, there's investors that buy them all the time, but like understanding the process of what a home buying process looks like, there's going to have to be humans involved with that, for generations to come. I don't think that you're going to be able to get away with, completely automating that system as best as Zillow's trying to do, or other companies are trying to do. I find it fascinating, the automation in all businesses. I think it's similar to like the automotive industry. People can now run diagnostics, but you still need somebody to turn the wrenches. It's similar in those regards. There's other platforms, other genres that are changing as well because of technology, and we either have to adapt, or you are going to be replaced in certain situations.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like you said, and I feel like because, well, for one, I'm close with Andrew, and Andrew's all about AI technology. He's always keeping me up to speed with so much, and like it's so interesting because I've always erred on the side of like the human experience for me. Like I love the human experience. In fact, like humanity to now, you can argue has been like, well, that's how we've done everything. And there's something to be said about like trusting somebody through a process for them to kind of like shepherd you through a very, expensive purchase. But with that being said, like even the AI technology now has been extremely human. And I don't know where that intersects. It's just going to be very, very interesting because we've had a conversation with his advanced voice model that he had. And like literally he had her, right? It's AI. He had the technology on and it was like jumping in the conversation similar to what we're doing right now. And we forgot that it was listening and it would just jump in like, oh, did you guys talk about this? And you're like, oh crap, this thing's listening and is like injecting itself into our conversation. So that human experience is like at some point it might intersect. And I don't know what that looks like. I don't think any of us do.
We're going to take a quick break and thank our sponsors.
Storybook Destinations. Storybook Destinations makes planning your magical Disney vacation effortless. From Disney cruises to Disneyland and beyond, they handle all the details so you can focus on the fun. Visit StorybookDestinations.com to start your adventure. That's StorybookDestinations.com.
Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care. Skip the healthcare hassle with Pinnacle Advanced Primary Care. Direct primary care for a simple monthly fee, putting health first. No insurance needed. Experience personalized care that's as unique as every individual. Visit PinnacleAPC.com to learn more. That's PinnacleAPC.com. Franchise Succeed.
Grow any business with Franchise Succeed. From development to expansion, turning small businesses into national brands through franchising. Start scaling up with a free consultation at FranchiseSucceed.com today. That's FranchiseSucceed.com.
Planet Duct. Breathe easier with Planet Duct, Colorado Springs' premier air duct cleaning service. Powerful vacuum trucks rid homes of allergens and dust. Clear the air by visiting PlanetDuct.com. That's PlanetDuct.com.
Epic Eyewear. Elevate style with Epic Eyewear. Innovative designs meet unmatched quality, ensuring a great look and better vision. Discover your next pair of shades at epiceyewear.com. That's epiceyewear.com, spelled EPOCH eyewear.com.
And we're running a special discount right now, Andrew. It's COS BP 15 for 15% off your
15% off your freaking order at epiceyewear.com. We're wearing the sunglasses right now. If you're listening on the audio, definitely check out the video so you can see and check out how epic they are. EPOCH
eyewear.com.
Eyewear.com.
Awesome Home Services. Awesome Home Services provides reliable electrical, plumbing, and HVAC services in Colorado Springs and surrounding areas. Whether you need emergency repairs for routine maintenance, they're available 24/7 to keep your home running smoothly. Visit awesomeservice.com. That's awesomeservice.com. Or give them a call at 719-370-0911 to schedule your service today. Now we will get back to this episode.
I think with AI, it's definitely coming. You can't stop it. And I've heard and I've dealt with that side of it. I do feel a little cringe with it.
Yeah.
Because if they're doing like cold calls for whether it's real estate or an electrician or a general contract, it doesn't matter, whatever industry. At what point is that like not okay?
Yeah.
Like you're just talking to an AI bot and like and not getting that relationship with somebody. Like I don't feel clean about that just yet. But I have to get that through my own head.
Yeah. I think it becomes not okay as soon as it's not able to provide the value that you're looking for. I mean, but if it's able to check all those boxes, then you're not even going to question it, because if it fills the value that you're looking for when you're going out to commission an AI to do whatever job you need, if it helps you get to the end goal, that people will always flock to that, like the thing that works.
It's crazy because like I've heard it and I've stumped it, but I knew it was an AI.
Yeah.
But I feel in like a couple of years, you're not going to be able to get to that point. I feel like there's still some objection handling that needs to be
For sure.
that's some recognition of what people are talking about. That there's some language barriers with, when people pick up the phone, like, is there the ability for AI to recognize whether it's Spanish?
Yep. Already it does that with the new ChatGPT model. You can actually start, if I say something and it's speaking to me in English and I say interesante, it'll start going in Spanish right after I say interesante.
See, and I would screw with that thing so quickly. Like if I knew I was a bot on the phone with me, I would totally start speaking in Spanish when I could speak in English just to see if I could screw it up.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And then there's going to, like you said, in the next few years, like the way that it's advancing, like it's going to be better than you at tricking itself, like
it learns so quickly.
It'll be able to trick you before you can trick it, actually, probably in the next few years.
Right.
Which is scary.
That's the cringe part that I have, because I feel like you're almost tricking your customers.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So
it does feel like inauthentic in a lot of ways, and not just, the voice automated things, but like for some people, they have issues with the image generation, or everyone has their hang-ups with it. And I think there's going to be a schism with it. It's like, there's going to be people that are going to be very anti-AI, and there's going to be people that are very pro-AI. The ones that are around after that, I don't know.
And I think it's also kind of like generation to generation. Like if you look at our country and how we've came along, like my grandparents were born like in the 20s. Okay. So the Depression era. And look how far we've came. Like we still deal with racial issues now, but we've came a lot farther than the 20s. And now, with AI coming, it may be second nature for our kids to just be able to grow up with AI in their life.
Oh yeah.
And that's almost a scary thing to think about.
It may be advantageous for them too. Like they'll be more capable because of the AI.
When Chloe was a kindergartner, she knew math better than I did when I graduated high school. I guarantee it.
Really? Because of that?
Yeah. I mean, just the gap of what they learn now in school is completely, that's a little bit exaggerated, but there's some truth that, third graders are learning at probably what I learned in fifth grade.
Oh, I believe that.
Something like that.
I think a lot of it too, like I think about like trauma bonding. Like in sales, it's not trauma bonding, but like say you lost your dog yesterday and like you're just like bringing it up to me after 30 minutes of talking to me, and I'm like, holy crap, man. Like I know of an experience like that. Listen, a couple of years ago, I lost my boy, and so we're bonding from a very human experience versus like an AI bot or whatever it might be. They probably will know the techniques to like coach someone that's expressing that, but they're not going to be able, at least in my mind, have the experience to be shared with somebody to be, and again, that's part of sales too, in a lot of ways, of like bridging the human experience between one or the other.
We use like we just call it Ford, the Ford model: family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. So you start with the F and the O. Like, all right, so tell me about your family. Tell me about what you do for work, and then you kind of get some engagement. Okay, what's your dreams? where do you see yourself? What do you do for fun? And you start putting that stuff in the conversation. That's how you build that rapport with people quickly within a 10, 15 minute conversation. I know you can have that conversation with an AI bot. I think it's going to get better. I think that we probably have a few years until it may surpass some of the people in every industry, especially people without sales training. That people that they'll go to, well, I just like being in front of people. Okay. I think in any industry as a business owner, you have to have some sort of sales training and some sort of business acumen. Otherwise, you're always going to continue to live in your business. You're never going to be able to get out of your business. So understanding that piece, you're going to be able to probably down the road, whether it's with virtual assistants or hiring other people here in the States or having an AI, you're going to be able to piece out, we already can do that kind of stuff. You're going to be able to do it for cheaper as we go along as well. When these things get kind of honed together.
Yeah. Have you seen the We Robot event that Elon did last week?
I saw pieces of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the robots, and this gives me a whole idea, and it goes with your VA thing, actually. Even if it's not AI controlled, imagine having one of those robots in your house and you have someone in like Guatemala, you're paying $5 an hour to operate that robot.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's, they're literally working from home, but they're operating a robot. So it's like, that takes your VA thing to a different like level of extrapolation, So
it keeps it on the rails. In other words, that person from the Philippines or whatever.
Yeah. And you can even hire sales teams that maybe like at your business, you have the Tesla bot there. But you have like this badass sales guy who's operating him, but he needed to be in Montreal or wherever,
right?
Or something. So he could be there. It's gonna be a fun time. I'm excited about all this stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how all of these things kind of come together.
Yeah,
because there's innovation is going to happen no matter what. Now it's just depending on how you tackle those things for whatever career genre that you're in.
Yeah.
Well, you're a very busy guy, 7 kids, 8 years in your business. And then again, we're kind of been talking a little bit about it, but you recently started another business in like July time, right? So very new business, right?
Yeah. Well, we've kind of we've launched it since then, but it's been since the start of the year that we kind of put this all, and I've had virtual assistants myself that I've always kind of paid for myself, but now being able to partner with people from Utah, having backers out there and everything like that. We have a whole staffing agency. We have a whole training and university, an internship program out there. So being able to, whether it's virtual assistants, executive assistants, digital marketers, social media managers, database managers, inside sales agents, whatever's needed. If you need closers, we have basically every role that you can come across. It's called My LG Virtual Assistants, and I think this is going to be a very lucrative opportunity because we're not targeting big business with this. There's 28 million business owners in America. That's 10% of
1 in 10.
Yeah. So the thing is, most business owners don't know how to leverage their time. If you want to scale your business, you have to leverage. So it's not easy hiring somebody for $60,000, $70,000 a year to be a project manager. Well, if you can hire a project manager for $15,000 a year, you can probably scale your business pretty quickly with that person. So that's the whole notion behind this My LG virtual assistants, is to be able to create roles that, like, I know I'm not good at certain things. I pay my kids to edit my videos. I don't have the patience for that stuff. And 2, they're higher on technology than adding all the captions and everything like that. It's much easier for them to do it. It's the same thing with like database management. Should me as a business owner be doing database management for email campaigns. That I can pay somebody $3 to $4 an hour, $5 an hour, whatever it is, to do those things. Leverage your time so you are making bigger things happen in your business.
Yeah. It's also, I mean, you have to, and again, this is like almost business 201 instead of 101, right? Because you get in your business, you want to do great things, you want to deliver a great product or service. That's all you're trying to do in the beginning, right? You're trying to solve a problem and you want to be the solver of that problem. But eventually, like you're saying, you have to put a dollar value on your time. And you got to remember that your time starts the moment you open an inbox email, the moment that you're, whatever it might be, commuting to your office. Like there's a dollar value associated with all those things, right?
I've gotten to the point now, and I know it sounds kind of shrill, but if I don't have to drive somewhere to meet somebody for coffee, I'd rather meet you on a virtual appointment right now. I'm sorry if we live 10 minutes away. That's 10 minutes that I could be sending text messages or making phone calls or talking to my virtual assistant to make sure that I create more business for our team, whether it's in real estate, whatever business that I'm working on currently at that business brokerage, like I have technically about 4 or 5 businesses. So, that time management of if I have to drive from Colorado Springs to Fountain to go meet somebody, that's an hour out of my day that's gone. I can't get that back. The time is what I cannot replace. I can leverage other things to make that happen.
Yeah. And it's a mentality that's associated with that now, right? Because like at first it's like you're just going out there and just scrunching as much business as you can, 8 networking events a week, you were saying. Right. And now you're at a point now where you have a little bit of money just to be like, I can streamline this. And it's all about streamlining your time. It actually becomes kind of fun because you almost gamify your workday, right?
Yeah. And I mean, just give you a quick, I know the camera can't pick this up, but that's my calendar. So every hour, every half an hour is scheduled on my calendar and they're color coded too. So what makes money, what is a business, what's for my kids, if I have a doctor's appointment, if I'm I put in on my calendar if I'm driving somewhere. So then I can go back and actually I can look by the start of the week, how much time am I spending driving? And, if I'm valuing my time at, I don't know, $250, $300, $700 an hour, whatever I want to value, and I can calculate per business what that is. Should I be driving during that time, or should I be making more business happen during that time?
You could take your total profits through like a month or even a year or whatever, but like take your total profits and then like divide it by all the time, and you could actually probably get an actual dollar value of what each task was worth. Like
right. And I know it sounds shrill because I am a relationship type of person. I do like having that rapport with people, but at the same time, as a business owner, it is like a dichotomy in my head that I'm constantly dealing with.
And it's very interesting how connected you could feel with someone, even if you've only done Zoom meetings with them. Like I've had people I've worked with where I've never met them in person, and it feels like I know them personally. Like if we were to go out and get coffee or a beer or whatever, it would feel like any other friend almost.
I mean, even phone calls and text messages, dude.
Yeah.
I send you a text. I'm like, what's up, bro? How you been? And like, we catch up pretty quickly on that kind of stuff, but it's just the amount that you actually do it. If you put the effort in, no matter if it's a text message, a phone call, grabbing a beer, people are still you will be that magnet for people. It's just the communication, because that's what people crave.
So true.
Is that connection.
And again, that's another mentality now that you're at this phase of your business. And like, have you been seeing this in the past few years that you have to be more intentional with your time? Like we've been talking about, the going theme of this whole thing is like, you have a big family, you have these personal things that you've been doing, but you're also running a business that's been almost a decade old. And then you have another one, like you have to be so intentional with your time. How long has this been kind of starting to be organized and systematized in your life?
The time management block has probably been about 6 years. I can almost tell you to the day when I knew I needed to do it consistently down to half an hour. My oldest son, Jake, he's now a junior in high school. I believe he was either 7th or 8th grade. So like 5-6 years ago, he called me and he's like, cause he rode his bike to school in middle school. We lived maybe 3/4 of a mile away from Timberview Middle School. And he called me. He's like, Dad, are you coming to back to school night? Meet my teachers. Oh crap. It's not on my schedule. And if it's not on my schedule, it doesn't exist. That's when I knew like every piece of my life needed to be on my calendar. Some people can remember that. Like as soon as that happened, I'm like, I need to get even more organized and purposeful about what I'm doing down to the minute with everything.
It's just one of the tools that we have, like those calendars. I mean, it's just like AI, it's like in a lot of ways, it uses algorithms like AI uses, it's like.
And I will say this, people will respect you more when you say you have an appointment, and I block off my kids' times as appointments. So like, my son has a football game. I'm sorry, I have an appointment tonight. I can't make it. Let's do it the next afternoon.
Yeah.
They will respect that whole lot more than saying, I got to go to my kid's football game as a business owner. And I don't know if you guys have had that yet or not, but I know if people are wanting to buy a house, I'm going to say I have an appointment and they'll respect that more.
Right. How does that fuel you up? Because a lot of people might be listening to this and be like, well, this guy has too much on his calendar. But I think there's some aspects there, especially like the family pieces that you're talking about, that probably fills your cup up again, or your energy levels up again, because you're doing what you want to do. Like you're there for your kids during like the most formidable years of their life, like football games and all these different things, school, back to school night. That's so important. They remember that for the rest of their lives. So like, how does that serve you?
I've been to every one of their games, unless I was terribly sick. I can make those times happen. I can be a part of their world. I can be a part of, my team's world. We can have events. We can be a part of the things and share those events with each other, share that time with each other. And it makes it much more rich. And to me, so many times people just let things happen. You're in a 9 to 5, and I got off work and I got to go hang out with my kids after. But that I missed their football game, or I missed their basketball game. Well, I can work on a Saturday, and I can go on a Tuesday morning and go to school with Chloe if I wanted to hang out in her school if I needed to for something. So like, to me, that's a lot more rich type of connection than I have with my kids.
Yeah. And they're involved in everything that you do. I mean, over the years, so I've been a part of helping the Best of the West Wing Fest with Flip and Maritza. They're amazing. They've done so much with us, and they've been on the podcast multiple times. However, you're kind of a main feature of that whole event because you do like the hottest wing challenge, correct?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that. And then you had like a podcast, or I don't know if you still do, but like you had a whole thing regarding that whole theme as well.
Yeah. So for like a year there, we did a whole video segment with business owners. I took, if you guys seen the hot ones on YouTube, I basically stole their shtick, and I did it with small business owners, and we ate taquitos instead. And we called it Lost in the Sauce. So I would ask them 5 questions about their business and what sets them apart, and watch their sinuses just explode because of, like 1 million Scoville of heat, that they're eating these sauces. So that kind of took hold, and I've known Flip and Maritza since they came here almost. And they came to me and said, "Hey, let's put something together with the chicken wing eating contest." And now I have a shirt that says I'm the Spice Lord, and we start at like 700,000 Scoville with this thing. And this year, the hottest one I found was 13 million Scoville. Like, I'm pretty sure like someone's gonna have an ulcer from that.
What's the hottest on the show?
On the hot ones
show,
is 2 million.
Oh my God.
So it's like 11 million Scoville hotter. It's like just an an extract of like some crazy ghost peppers.
That's what I was thinking, like a ghost pepper from
Yeah.
somewhere crazy.
Yeah. So, and it's just ungodly hot. And then this year I took it to another level and brought a microwave because I wanted to continue to burn their faces off because I have a guilty pleasure of this kind of stuff watching. It's hilarious watching it.
Yeah.
Like some guy up there just like his whole sinus cavity just exploded on his face. It was hilarious. And like, I like talking smack. I have a good time with it. And you know, it's just good fun. So like we were up there just, you know, turning into, you know, like the crazy host out there, just having a great time with these people and seeing how long they could eat these wings. And I, you know, like you said, I have the opportunity to bring my kids into this. So Tyler and Chloe were this year, and Jake has been a part of it up on stage. How many kids get a chance to have these type of experiences in their life?
Yeah.
Like to me, that's super special for not just me, but for them too. And like, you know, like being able to have bonding with that kind of stuff. Like, you know, Chloe got to bring her friends this year and like, she's 10 years old now. So she's going to remember that for her entire life to be able to be a part of these kind of things. Because not everybody gets a chance to do special things like that, or, you know, like go to like an Avalanche game, you know, like we have the ability. Not every kid gets to do that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man. And it's so cool to see because like I look at you, I look at Andrew, I look at Flip and Maritza, and like all of you have been here less than 10 years. Yet you're making a very big impact the moment you like step on the soil of Colorado in general. It's insane. What do you attribute to that? Like what brought you to Colorado Springs, and then what has been the essence here for you to make such a big impact here?
Well, I actually went to Northern Colorado. I'm from Sacramento. I grew up in California. Went into the military, and when I went into the military, I got stationed in Spokane, Washington. And during that time, during my downtime, I played college volleyball back before I went in the military. Well, I ended up being able to be the assistant coach at Eastern Washington University. We won the Big Sky Championship both years I was an assistant, and then being able to take that passion. So like the military and then coaching, I got a master's degree in education. So I was a teacher. I got to be able to move around the country with the military. And we went to Nebraska, where my ex-wife was from. I had 5 years out there, and I, you know, went back into DOD, came back to Colorado Springs, and then got tired of bureaucracy.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I got to do something for myself. So the military education taught me structure and empathy. And then with coaching and that competitive drive, because success leaves clues, man. Like no matter, like look at people like our mayor, look at people like Frank Sinclair, like resolve, determination, like, you know, that type of stuff is ingrained in you from whether it's childhood or other experiences along the way. I love seeing that in others, and I know how I wanted to create my own legacy here. And I'm just super pleased about, you know, how we're making that happen now.
Well, you've always been a go-getter. I mean, I met you 6 years ago, and
Yeah.
we were trying to plan something together, and you ended up doing it, which is amazing. I think I was trying to do like a triple feature thing on the screen in the stadium, and Disney came back to me saying like they're going to take like 70% of our profits. I was like, okay, I can't do it, Ryan. But
Right.
it's so cool because I mean, if I think about it, you're only here for like 2 years or something during that point, and you're trying to rent out a stadium parking lot and the stadium to do this crazy trunk or treat thing, and it's still around today with thousands of people.
Yeah.
How
Well,
did you guys get connected?
I think that's how it was.
I think that's how it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kind of knew of each other through different networking
Okay.
people and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And, you know, for me, I don't ever try to burn bridges, you know? So like, I always try to keep a relationship with people as best as I possibly can. And, you know, it's amazing just checking in with people every 3 to 6 months and seeing how, dude, those connections go so far.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, we've seen you at the movies. We've seen you at different events.
Black Bear Diner. I've seen you
Right.
there before. Yeah.
I'm like, what's up, bro? Where you been?
Yeah.
You know?
And then I saw you at the comedy club.
Yeah, yeah.
And ended up sitting with you guys.
Exactly. So that's the kind of stuff. It's like just continuing to be around and just continuing to be, you know, a positive type of magnet, man. I want to create a better place than what I found it. And that's, you know, not everybody's going to be your cup of tea. I know I'm probably not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I'm okay with that though.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to be me.
Well, we need
So,
you.
you know, and like, I always tell people this, I'm not the smartest. I was never the most athletic when I played sports. I never was like the highest IQ on the team. But man, I had heart and I had determination. My greatest attribute in life is resiliency. Like, you may punch me in the face, you may kick me while I'm down, but damn it, I'm going to get it back up again and you can't stop me. I mean, I'm even wearing a shirt that says unstoppable today.
Nice.
So like, you know, it's just who I am. I will not stop. I will continue to get back up. I don't care if like when I started in real estate, I tell this story. I didn't have a closing for my first 7 months. And when I had 9 mouths to feed, I had $178 to my name and I would not give up. And I'm proud of where we came from there.
That's an unbelievable story, man. Talk about like back against the wall and like having to feed so many mouths and you just going out on your dream. And again, real estate, it's kind of the commission only thing when you're getting started, right? Like you have to sell to make money. And so that's a beautiful story. And then what you've built from there and just seeing the people who have worked with you and everything, it's been such a beautiful journey. No wonder you're able to like now expand and you're doing the things with the VAs and stuff. What have these first 8 years and just business in general taught you as a business owner today?
I would say choose your circles. Not everybody needs to be in your circle all the time. We don't see each other all the time. I mean, we probably, Andrew, me and you probably see each other maybe once or twice a year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we probably see each other maybe 3 or 4 times a year in passing, and that's okay. But I know I can still call you or text you and you'll be like, dude, I got you on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
How you been?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but that's like the outside circle. No offense.
Yeah.
But you probably have those close people too.
Yeah.
That are your roll dogs that are like every day I better be talking to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying is choose your circles. Let people come into that inner circle. Give them a little taste. If they're going to help you grow that circle and make that circle better, keep them in there. But if they're not, choose those people wisely because they can hurt your circle too. So
that's awesome. And it's so true. I mean, for better or for worse too, as far as habits are concerned too, it's not even just like in business. It can be whatever it might be. Hey, I want to go out and get trash on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Probably not part of your inner circle at this juncture in your life when you have 9 mouths to feed, you know?
I can tell you this, like when I started in real estate, I was not as big as I am now. So like, I'm a big guy. Okay. I probably put on 50, 60 pounds and I'm paying for that because I want to walk my kids down the aisle. I want Chloe's 10. I don't think she's going to get married in a year or two. I need to be here to walk her down the aisle. Real estate, it's either you're sitting behind a desk or you're driving somewhere. So your car's a desk. So choosing your health, I've had to make a conscious decision in the last couple of years to be more healthy, to make those changes. And that's been a hard, like, I keep coming back to this. I know this sounds weird, but when I grew up, the food plate, whatever it is now, was like, it was a food pyramid and it's like, eat like a loaf of bread a goddamn day, you know? So like changing where I don't eat bread anymore has been a hard staple to change.
And chug milk too.
Yeah. I don't drink milk. I haven't drank milk in a couple of years, you know, but that's the kind of stuff. It's like, man, changing your diet, changing your health habits. And if those people around you, you know, aren't doing that stuff with you, like that's hard. So being able to have those people around you that are going to support you in those, whether it's spiritual, I don't care if you just meditate, but find somewhere inside of you to be calm and, find that inner peace, whether you're Christian or Hindu or, it doesn't matter what religion you are, like, have some sort of inner peace with yourself. Mental health is important. Physical health, financial health. We in my business, in our sales team, we talk about the health wheel. Who you choose as friends in personal relationships, your family's dynamics, your health dynamics, your job's dynamics. All of these things are important. And if you don't have one, you may have a flat tire. So being able to balance those things and manage them accordingly. I have what I call my morning rituals, and I go through them and I check them off on my phone every day. Did I meditate or pray? Did I stretch? Like I'm 46 now. So like when I was playing college volleyball, I could walk on the court and I'm like, no warm up. I'll just like rip my shoulder out of socket and go play it. Let's go.
Right.
But now it's like, man, I got 20 minutes of warm up before I even lift, like that difference, and being conscientious about it, cause I want to be here for generations, decades to come. So I think that's a very important piece to me.
Yeah. And you have kind of that fatherly kind of vibe with you. You have teaching, you have coaching. I'm assuming that you've had a lot of great moments with like employees too, and seeing them succeed under, certain types of teachings, or just in general, just like putting them out there and be like, hey, you own this, but let's empower you and see, what happens with you. Tell us more about some of those stories too.
Yeah. So, one of my right-hand people, Matt, he's on my real estate team. He came from the car business, man. And, he never sold anything. He came from the service side where people came to him. He's like, I can't deal with that anymore. And, in 2 years, he sold over 40 properties. So the average agent does 4 deals in a year. That's pretty amazing to be able, like day after day, just continue to work with people like that. We have another girl on the team that she has 2 investment properties now, and she rents them out Airbnb and short and long-term rentals. It's amazing to see her growth. Melanie is an amazing person. We have other people, Daryl, that we've built flipping companies with. So we go out and we find properties, and now we flip, and we're building separate businesses with them along in the real estate side to be able to help them reach their dreams. It's our virtual assistants in the Philippines are buying houses. Like that's amazing. Like, and that's so fulfilling to me. They tell us, like without what and I know I sound like I'm tooting my own horn here, but man, without us, they wouldn't have the feeling of like that they could do this on their own.
Yeah,
man, that's so empowering. And it's so great to see them, reach the levels that they are reaching. And I couldn't be happier for them. And I'm so pleased to be along the ride with them.
Yeah.
I've seen you take in one of your employees before, and they lived with you.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it shows that you really care.
I've actually had 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of them didn't have a place to stay. I let him stay in my house for 6 months, and he was a great person, and still wish him the best. And I want to see him do well. And, another one, he was going through some stuff personally, and I took, let him stay with us. And, that's the kind of, I love being able to help people, whatever it is, man. Like my house is their house. And, if people need something, I'll do everything I can to take care of them. But I also, there's a limit. There's also people that I've trusted with certain business transactions. I can tell you, like, I've over trusted and probably lost over $100,000 in different areas of trusting people. And that's okay too. Like, you learn from those things. And I've gotten to a point where I've forgiven, but you don't forget.
That's definitely true. I've had that many times with people I've really trusted, really stabbing me in the back or whatever. And I think that comes for you, for someone with a big heart, and like you're so giving. And where does that come from? Does that come from like your childhood? Like not many people will welcome people into their home. And I mean, you got kids. Like it's a different situation if you're just a single guy in a big old house by yourself. Like where does that come from?
I grew up with a dumpster fire of a family.
Okay.
So it was like, I knew I didn't want that for my kids. So I don't, and my stepkids are mixed. So like, I don't see race. Like I embrace bringing in people of different ethnicities and races and stances and stuff. Like I want that a part of my life. And I embrace that kind of stuff. And if I don't show that to my kids, how can I be the best father for them? So like, to me, that's powerful. And like, I want to be that person that when I'm gone, dad did everything he could to take care of his people, and he took care of us too.
That's beautiful, man. But one of the best experiences from my mom moving me around, because she was in the newspaper industry, was like, I got to move around in New York. I was actually born in Sacramento like you, and I moved all over, and like I met so many people from so many different backgrounds. That is like one of my biggest attributes about I'm most proud about myself, is that I got to meet all these people from different backgrounds. I can never repay my mom for worldly experience like that. And so in turn, I love people of all different backgrounds too. It's like, I love it, man. And my grandparents were like that too. And so I guess am a product of what you're trying to build for your kids. And I can tell you on the flip side of that, from a 33-year-old man, that I'm so thankful for my mom.
Absolutely.
To have done that.
Absolutely. And like just being able to put these opportunities in front of my kids, whether it's the events that we put on or, like meeting people in your community and being a resource to others, and like showing them that it's not all about us. Like there's a bigger type of calling, whether it's in whatever industry, that we're all in this together. So like I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm okay with that. But at the same time, when I leave here, people are going to know that I was a good man.
That's awesome. That was almost like my final question to you too, was like, what mark do you want to leave for your employees and your kids? Ryan, God forbid anything ever happens to you, but like you're no longer around. Like what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
Well, I almost wasn't around. So during COVID, like I think I filmed yours.
About that, yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think Flip was telling me about that.
I had I got COVID like in June of 21. And I think I was on the podcast then in August or something. So I just got out of the hospital like 2 months after that. I spent 8 days in the hospital. And during that time, I developed a blood clot in my leg. They called it a widowmaker. And at that time, I went home, and it felt like somebody was punching me from the inside of my ribs, and it was just about to my lungs. And they told me if I waited any longer, like I drove myself back because I was in the hospital for 10 days with ketoacidosis and all kinds of different things from complications from COVID. And then I got all that fixed and right out of the VA hospital. And 10 days later, I developed this blood clot from being in there for so long. I know this was probably stupid at the time, but I told my Jake at that time, I'm like, dude, I got to go to the hospital tonight. I waited until Tyler and Chloe were asleep, and I said, I'll be back in the morning. And that's all I said. Because I knew I was texting some nurses that some of my friends were nurses. And I said, bro, what? They're like, dude, you got a blood clot. So get your ass to the hospital. So they dissolved the blood clot, and I was home by 6:30 in the morning but that was one of the biggest things that I didn't know if I was going to come home that night. And, because that could have easily just flipped the switch, and I was gone.
And that's in the form of like a heart attack or something of that sort, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. With a blood clot.
Yeah.
If it hits your heart, you would have been gone. I would have been gone. So, so that's a long story told long, but, I would say, when I'm gone, there's a song that talks about stop thinking about your worldly possessions and start thinking about the headlights in your procession. And like, to me, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Like, how many people did you affect? And they don't even have to come to your funeral, but even if they just heard about it, man, that guy was a good dude. That's like, to me, that's powerful.
Oh, that's so true. Because think about all the funerals you haven't been to, but it caused pause in your life. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's gone.
Yeah.
And like, that's happened to me numerous times of funerals I didn't even go to because, say, I'm in the outer circle of them or whatever it might be. And I'm just like, I hope like whatever vibes or mourning I'm having here, like, I hope I can comfort whoever's in that inner circle or family, because that's crazy, And so I think that's very, very true of what you're talking about.
Just choose grateful. That's, I don't want to go through life, not every day is perfect. Not, the bank account isn't where it wants to be for whatever reason. People go through those things. People go through the struggles in life, but I'm going to choose grateful every single day. I'm going to find something like that pen. I am grateful that we have a pen that I can write my thoughts out and I can get it out of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for this phone that I can connect with other people to make an impact on their life. I'm grateful for this microphone to be able to express who I am to your group of people here in Colorado Springs. Choose grateful.
Love it, brother. There's your camera right there. Where can we find you, Ryan?
You can find me wolfpackpropertygroup.com. Anything commercial, residential, we got your back on that. We'd love to be able to serve you here from all the way up on the north side of Denver down to Pueblo. We can take care of you on that piece. If you're looking to scale your business utilizing virtual assistants, mylginc.com is our virtual assistants. So we'd love to be able to have a conversation about that too.
Well, awesome. This has been such a great episode, and we'll see you guys on the next one.